This video is about user-defined functions. So far we've only seen functions that came with Python and we use them like absolute value, ABS, math.floor, math.square root, which were in a module. Now we're going to see how we as the programmer can define new functions of our own. And a function definition, so you have to define your function and then you have to use it, as opposed to using the functions that were already defined. So a function definition specifies the name of a function and the sequence of statements that will execute when the function is called. So let's look at some examples. So here's my Python program. It's an example of a function with no parameters or arguments, no input. So this is how you define a function. You have to use the word def, the name of the function, open close parentheses with any input that it may need, a colon, and then when you hit enter, it indents the code, and that's very important. Okay, and then after the colon, whatever is in the indented part of the function is the body of the function. So let's pretend that I wrote this function and I typed it in. I'm here, and when you hit enter, you'll notice it thinks that there's more to write. There's more steps in the body of the function. So the way you want to show that your function has ended, the body of the function has ended, you have to hit enter, and you keep hitting enter and it'll keep indenting it. So at some point you have to hit backspace and line it up to the beginning. So now I want to call this function. I want to use this function that has been defined. And all that this function has is two print statements. So let me run this. And I'm calling the function by just writing the name of the function, open close parentheses, which means I'm calling the function. So when I run it, it does what's in the body of the function. What was in the body of the function was print, I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I work all day. So whatever's in the body got executed. So when you call the function, whatever's in the body gets executed. Okay, here's another example of a function which I had commented out so that I won't have to type it, and now I'm just going to uncomment that. So here is a definition of another function. Def, the name of the function is repeat lyrics, open close parentheses, colon, and what is this function doing in its body? There are two steps or two statements, and this function is calling this function up here, print lyrics, right? Remember we called it and we just like that, and it printed the two lines, I'm a lumberjack, etc. And now within this function definition, so the name of the function is repeat lyrics, what we want this function to do is call print lyrics twice. So this is a call inside the definition of that function. So now when I call this function repeat lyrics, what is going to happen? So now this time I'm going to comment this out because I don't want to execute that. All I want to execute. So what do we have right now in this file? We have the definition of print lyrics. We have the definition of the function repeat lyrics, and we're going to call the function repeat lyrics. So let me run this. I'll save it. And what do I get? I get I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I work all day twice, right? Why was that? Because I called, what did I call? The only code that I called, this was a definition. This was another definition. And then only when I call it does that execute. So let me show you something. What if I don't call this function? And just to show you, I'm deleting all the calls. So what do I have in my Python file? I just have two function definitions. I've defined print lyrics and I've defined repeat lyrics. I'm going to close my Python shell. So now when I run this and it'll ask me to save it, it's not going to show me anything. Why is it not showing me these defs? Well, these are just functions I've defined. It's like having absolute value and the square root function in the math module. They're all there. They're always there. But until we don't use them, they don't get, you don't see anything. You don't see an output. Only when you use them. So only when I call this function repeat lyrics, and notice how it's indented. This is not a good idea. You don't want to write the name of a function inside itself. Okay, so let me just run this, and now it works. So until you don't call the function is defined, it exists, but it's not being used. So I hope you understand the difference between a function definition and a function call. When you call the function, it will execute the code inside the function. So when I called repeat lyrics, it executed this code. But this was a call to another function, so when it executed this line, it actually did these two prints, and then when it executed this line, it actually did these two prints.